I know this is the last session of the day before the big old party tonight. So hopefully everyone will hang out and hang with us for the brief half hour that we have. But because it is a half an hour, we're going to go through quite a bit of stuff and try to give you all the information you need to work with the beta today. This product is new at 2012. It is called Esri Maps for Office, not ArcGIS for Office. All right? It's part of a new initiative here at Esri called Location Analytics. And that Location Analytics initiative encompasses not only the Office product, but our Esri Maps for Cognos. We have one coming out for MicroStrategy. We have the Salesforce offering as well. And, of course, SharePoint. How many folks here remember our ArcGIS for SharePoint? Okay. That's also being brought into the Location Analytics initiative. And over the course of 2012, it will also go through a name change to Esri Maps for SharePoint. Same product, just different name. So with that, my name is Art Haddad. I'm over at Esri. I've been there for about 17 years now. A lot of different things. This is one of the many offerings that we work on. And the new product itself, just to be very clear, this is a product that works inside of Microsoft Office. It is an Office add-in. Yes, it's true. We are adding mapping capabilities and tools to the Microsoft Office product suite. Didn't think we were going to do that now, did you? Yes? No? Guess what? We are. Basically, what we want to do is provide a very familiar experience to work with your geospatial assets. We want to provide a non-disruptive experience, so the IT group will actually expand the offerings that our GIS teams have been working on, but have always been this request system into the GIS group. We want to expand those offerings out there. Office. How many people here actually have Office on their desktop? Yeah, that's what I thought. Everyone. At some point or another, there's a lot of folks out there using Excel, using PowerPoint. I use PowerPoint here all the time. Right? So basically, that's what we're doing here, and that's what this is. Really quickly, we're expanding the Office products. And today, it's only Excel and PowerPoint. Over time, it'll go into the rest of the Office products. We're spatially enabling it. It's that simple. Today, Excel, PowerPoint. In the future, we'll move on to Outlook, Visio, then down the BI stack. Think reporting services. Think Dynamics. We're going to expand out into the Microsoft BI stack extensively. And this is our first venture into that space. All right, so let's see it. In PowerPoint. You're always doing presentations in PowerPoint. You might have a map. Well, what if you can actually say, let's go live with that map. Let's actually start working with it. Hopefully my internet connection is working. There it is. And in PowerPoint, I can actually start working with maps, looking at the pop-ups, everything right there. Imagine, if you will, you're doing a briefing to upper management, and you're trying to explain why you performed the wind energy analysis. And here's what some of the feedback is, all while you're still in PowerPoint. That's what I'm doing right here. I can hit escape, go right back into my slide, and I can go, arrow down and move on into my next slide. I can keep going. How's about inside of Excel? In Excel here, I have a workbook open with multiple spreadsheets. And I'll start with this one, but I'm going to show you something else here too, right? In the spreadsheet, I have a number of different things going on. I have gross domestic product information by some states around the country that NOAA is specifically interested in. I also have another table of government awarded contracts filtered inside of Excel to North Carolina. I actually want to see this information. Now, one common thing that everyone uses Excel for is aggregation. So I'll use a pivot table. Everyone understands the pivot table concept? Yes? Good. So I'll quickly use a pivot table. I'll aggregate everything up into states, since it's broken down by counties. And I'll use wages and GDP, and then I'll just quickly format this. Now, think about this for a minute. It's by state. Makes total sense to show this on a map. and then show the larger GDP values or larger wage states by a darker color. Just visually see it rather than see a bunch of numbers on a chart, right? So when we installed Esri Maps for Office, we added a new tab to the Office ribbon. This is both in PowerPoint as well as Excel. And here, let me sign into the correct ArcGIS Online account. Okay, the internet's just a little bit slow today. Okay, so I'm adding a map. Yeah. It's actually using the Wi-Fi, so you'll have to bear with me on this one. Let me see about disconnecting. Yeah, this is not. Okay, so I'll just go with the Wi-Fi and just keep going. All right. Now I just had the pivot table, so I'm going to go ahead and select that cell range. So I'll select all the states there in the pivot table. I know I'm working with place names based on state. So I'll just go ahead and add that to the map. And you'll see here that sure enough, it did add it to the map. Real simple. A few clicks of the mouse, I selected a range in the pivot table, I just added it to the map. And now I can actually style this so I can see the wages, or let's go ahead and select the GDP information based on a different grouping method and a color scheme. Let's go with that one. Now I can definitely see the larger GDP values simply. Right there inside of Excel. I don't have to know anything else, right? I just want to see color-coded maps. To the non-GIS person, someone that doesn't work with maps all the time, that's a color map, right? To us, it's the thematic map, right? We can also set visible scale ranges. So instead of at the region, I want to see it down to the city level. Because over on this other spreadsheet, I have government awarded contracts by address. And because it's a table, I can use Excel to filter down all these addresses into just a specific state, in this case, North Carolina. And I created a table based on that. So again, using the Add Excel option, I can say table, and I can say addresses, automatically figures it out for me, and I simply say add. So what it's doing now is using my ArcGIS Online account and batching all that information up from my spreadsheet, using ArcGIS Online to say, oh, give me a coordinate value so I can represent it on the map. And it should come back. Unfortunately, it's a little, usually quicker than that, but again, the Wi-Fi is a little slow here. And you can see that it's still performing things in the background. So what I'll do here quickly is go to it so I can now see the information on the map. And yes, I can even click on it and I can see pop-up information. I can even drill in to all the different things within a given tolerance of that click, including the state information underneath. All right. But again, I want to see this using sizes. I want to see the larger contracts and the larger symbol. So again, sizes. And again, I can use a specific symbol. I can select the attribute that I want to color code this on or size this on. And again, the type of grouping I want. And I'm done. But it's still a little cluttered. So a lot of our testers that we've seen, I've gone out in the field with this on, they say, yeah, that's a lot of dots on top of each other. How can I clean that up? We added a quick button. If you're familiar with a SharePoint product or the Silverlight Viewer or any of the other APIs with clustering, there's now a button click. Now we have it. To the point where even the animations still work. And the nice features that our devs provided is if I click on that, it'll actually let me scroll through all the different features on that. And yes, I can configure the pop-up to display the correct information too. Really nice. But what about my other GIS group? They're actually working out there and they're collaborating on different projects and they're sharing that web map up in ArcGIS Online, or they're creating a map service in ArcGIS Online. I want to add that project to here too to represent my analysis correctly. So we've added a search tab to this as well. So I can actually search all of ArcGIS Online or just my organizational subscription. In this case, I'll go ahead and type in some estuary projects that I know that we've been working on. And I'll filter it down to just the ones that are specifically associated to my organization. And I see the one I want. I'll simply add that. It'll go out there, grab the information, and draw it exactly the way it was saved or published in ArcGIS Online and add that to the map. Pretty straightforward. You can start seeing how this can actually work for the person that doesn't understand what it means to do GIS or do mapping. And that's what this is really targeted at. This is targeted at those individuals to extend the reach of the GIS group into the places that we really don't have reach into. And of course, if you really want to, you can take this information and you can share it back with ArcGIS Online. So a good example is this one right here, all the Excel layers. Let me just go ahead and turn off the clusters. And let me go ahead and say, I want to share this information. And we'll call it, what's your name?
William.
William? We'll call it William, so you know it's live. And I'll say share with everyone so it becomes public. So you can see this icon. It's kind of animating, telling you that it's doing something in the background. So if I actually go out to Internet Explorer, and I go to arcgis.com, and I'll sign into my organization. And I look at my content here, you'll see that William is up there. I can actually go into the item. I can see that it is shared with everyone. And if I really want to, I can, using the new 162 feature, I can export it back out into a shapefile or a CSV and take it somewhere else if I really wanted to. Or I can simply open it up in the arcgis.com viewer. It'll take me exactly to the extent and the rendered information as it was in Excel. Now at beta, we stopped at the service level. We had to scope it down so we can get beta available by the partner conference and the developer summit. By final, that entire map will be published as well. So it'll be a web map, not just the services themselves. So now the Excel user can share back with the rest of the organization. Let's take this a step further. I want to create a presentation. Here's that PowerPoint. Let me go down to the end here. Let me go ahead and create a slide. And I know I'm working with North Carolina here. So I'll go ahead and right-click on the pivot table. You'll notice that the context menu, we added some additional capabilities like go to location and selections. I'll use the selection, highlight the map. Selecting the map again, I can create yet another slide. So now I have two slides that I created, trying to expose the analysis that I performed within Excel. I can take this a step further and use the Esri Maps tab in PowerPoint, in the ribbon. And I can say, I'm already signed in here. I can add additional map content from here. Let me size this out a little bit. I know that I have those wind energies that you saw earlier, right? I'll go ahead and search on that, filter it by my organization, and I'll select that one, open it up into this dialog. And instead of creating a static map, I want to create a dynamic map. You'll also see some other options here that we haven't exposed yet, but those will be exposed, like creating a map key, so you understand exactly what's going on in there. We may take it further depending on our timeline, and the beta feedback. So the beta feedback is going to be very critical to the success of this project. And of course, I can work with this image just like any other. Format it, let me change it out so that it's, it's just an image. And at this point I can say, run this. Let me just go all the way down. You're kind of getting a sneak peek at the rest of my slides here. You can start seeing the presentation come alive, and then here's that wind energy that I can take live, and there you go. So you kind of got a quick whirlwind tour of what the Office product has and what it's going to be available to do. We kind of stopped at Excel and PowerPoint because version 1.0 is going to be our foundation release for the Office products. However, the beta that's going out right now, and right now we have a limited beta. We can only allow so many people in. And we have some more rooms, so it's on a beta community site. So if you have a need, go ahead and register. And we'll, based on different criteria, we'll go ahead and approve you. But nonetheless, this is the kind of thing that we're talking about here.
Is your only data source ArcGIS Online or a portal, or can you hit your own ArcGIS server map services?
Your own ArcGIS server, as long as you have the portal on top of it. That's where we're going with this right now. Yeah, the portal combination. So we're basing this on the ArcGIS Online portal API. So we have a common way of doing things regardless of the platform. However, the beta is going to drive the direction of that. We may just open it up to server. Now keep in mind that the product itself is installed locally, and it has certain capabilities that we can do local, but then we're also depending on ArcGIS Online, or server in this case with portal, for additional capabilities like geocoding, address matching, or additional place names, or the ability to do custom locations for the place name lookups and things like that, right? So, but again, beta feedback is going to drive those decisions as we listen to our customers. All right, so let me just go all the way back up here again. And run it. All right. So there we have it. Kind of got a quick view of what we can do in the Office product. That's what we have in beta right now. Okay? And of course, there's a few other things I didn't show you on the ribbon, but if you get into beta, you'll be able to play with those yourself. In short, again, it's an add-in. It works with the Office APIs. Today, it'll work with Office 2010. It won't work with 2007. We're focused on 2010 and beyond. We're also, believe it or not, working with the Microsoft dev team on the next version of Office. So we're not only working with 2010, but we're also working, which is version 14 in the Microsoft version information. We're also working with Office 15, and that's coming out in the future. Today, only Windows. Today. But as you'll find with Office 15 going into the future, it'll be both Mac and Windows. But that's a future thing. I can't say right now. All right. So let me just drive in here a little bit more. Interactive mapping. Obviously, we work with Excel data. We don't care if it's a pivot table, a table, cell ranges. We'll work with the Excel data. If you have Office data connections back to your SQL BI stack, it's Excel data. We leverage the framework to work with that data. Point data. We can do clusters, heat map. We can work with graduated symbols. We actually turned off the unique values. That's going to be coming in a future beta refresh, but right now you can do class breaks. Unique values are coming. Single symbols you can easily do. You can add and configure ArcGIS services. So if you're working with feature services, you can work with those directly in here, and you can also configure those. And of course, sharing is going to be an important aspect of this as well. Now, the kinds of information we can work with, coordinates, lat longs, right? We're going to also add, how many folks here believe that just lat long is good, or should we go beyond and support degrees, minutes, seconds? No one likes degrees, minutes, seconds. Excellent. One last one out. Sentha, no more on the backlog. It's off. All right. By the way, we have some folks that work on the Office team in the back. Sentha, Heiko, Rich. Anyone else? Nope. All right, good. They're also the SharePoint team. They're also part of the Silverlight Viewer team. Talented folks. All right, address matching. Right now, we'll work with the ArcGIS Online tasks.arcgis.com world locator. Literally I think over 90 countries are supported in that world locator. Another 63 that are semi-supported because of the region. But if you have ArcGIS server with portal on it, and you have your own custom locator, you can point to that too. So we're going to go there for final release, and it's not in the current beta. And then, of course, place name lookups. Right now, we have a bunch of common geographies that we do work with. The geographies that we expose at beta are right now limited. However, if you have an ArcGIS Online subscription, you'll be able to see a bunch more, including sub-regions around the world. So the first level administrative boundaries below country, as well as cities. And then we're also working with the ArcGIS Online team right now to extend that to allow for custom places so that you can have your own sales territories defined or your own boundaries defined, and you can support that directly either through ArcGIS Online or again through server with Portal. And again, area and points are right now what we do support. It's not just dot mapping, it's also areas. All right, we call it styling your data. It seems to resonate really well with this community. They like it. They dig it. It's cool. Thematic rendering, oh, that's for the geo geeks. Us. Right? We get that. But we do simplify it a little bit more. We're also looking for better terminology. So if you guys have information or better ideas, we're all ears. We're all ears. The idea is easier, simple, yet powerful. We don't want complexity in here at all. In order to do a quick graduated symbol, a few clicks of the mouse, you should just have it. Shouldn't have to learn all this geo speak, if you will. And that's where we're going with this. All right. Sharing is also very important. How many folks here use Outlook? How many folks want to extend this kind of capability into Outlook as a CRM-style tool? Okay. Yeah, okay. There's a few of you. Quite honestly, that's the next most requested feature from everyone I've talked to with this, including folks in Microsoft. Outlook is a personal CRM, if you think about it. We're going to go there. Yes, we have so much more work to do, gentlemen, ladies. Referring to my dev team, they're kind of laughing at me right now. We already got a backlog. What are you talking about? Email an image. Right now we're emailing an image. As soon as we can support web maps, we'll not only email the image, but a hyperlink that launches it directly from your email. Kind of important, don't you think? Again, sharing your work with ArcGIS Online. What about using SharePoint? If you look at the BI stack from Microsoft, SharePoint's at the very top, right? You have your entire IT infrastructure, your CRMs, ERPs, you got your, dare I say, Oracle backend, right? You got all that underneath, and then the SQL BI stack kicks in with the SQL integration services. Then you got the database engine on top of that that pulls everything together. Then analysis and reporting services. And then, of course, you got the Office clients, which is the premier BI tool out there, right? Then on top of that, you have SharePoint, search, content management, sharing, collaboration, dashboards. Well, we're already in SharePoint. We already can work with that. We're now adding Office to the mix. And you can see us going down the stack. All right. How many people like the PowerPoint thing? Anyone use the Explorer Online presentation tools? A few of you? One of the backlog items that we currently have for version 1, right, Cynthia, is to open up that web map. If it has a presentation, suck it into PowerPoint so you can do it right there inside of PowerPoint. Wouldn't that be cool? That's coming too. It's on our backlog, but again, if the feedback requires more priority on other items, we'll shift the priority accordingly. We're very user-oriented on this product. So heads up on that. You got a question? Okay. How about markup? You're inside of PowerPoint. You want to quickly annotate. Markup's going to be important, right? That's also in our backlog. All right, our roadmap. Beta 1 is now. Currently, we have a limited beta because we only have so much bandwidth given the amount of products that we're working with. So we're allowing in 100 beta users. I currently have about 40 people in the program, and we have another 60 spots open, and we're currently evaluating the over 300 people that we have currently. So if you have a current need, if we need to go beyond that 100, here's the trick. Get a sponsor. If you're working with a regional office or you're working with an account manager or a rep, get them to sponsor you, we'll let you in. Okay? We're going to have a beta refresh coming up, hopefully mid-May. I think that's what our target is right now. Cynthia's over there laughing. Mid-May. We're currently, everything we've said, we've hit our targets. We've hit our mark, which is good. But mid-May, we're going to open it up to a public beta. So anyone can go ahead and download this and start working with it around mid-May time period. Version 1.0 final. we're looking at the summertime around our user conference. Make a big splash at the UC, get up there with Jack, and that'd be really cool for this product, I think. But that's pretty much our roadmap. Beyond that, we're looking at 3-month release cycles. Every 3 months, we're going to have new features, new capabilities. It'll be small, focused releases just to get more stuff out there sooner rather than later. We're not going to fall into a 12 to 18-month delivery cycle on this. Okay. So I don't want to hold you up. I know it's a big party going on tonight. So I just want to summarize here. This is a ready-to-use tool. In terms of extensibility, version 1.0 won't have any extensibility beyond the web map itself. This is all a part of ArcGIS Online or ArcGIS Portal. We are considering what it means to go beyond that for the developer world. Do we want to allow people in or not? Again, that depends on who we're talking with and what folks in the world really want. We want to keep this as simple as possible. It's an add-in to Office. We are going to take this further with Office 15 and have it available as part of Office 15 as well. That's coming out soon too. I can't really talk about when, but pretty soon. So we're working with that too, right, Heiko? Rich? Mark's not here, is he? No? Okay. That's coming. Anyway, it's designed to be non-disruptive. A very familiar place for you as a user or your users are comfortable working. So that's where we're at. Again, this is part of our Esri's Location Analytics Initiative. This for Office is a very ground floor opportunity. SharePoint itself is already there. It's just we're going to change its name and put it back into the Location Analytics fold and make that even simpler to use. Add more HTML components into the SharePoint thing too to support the iPads. Right? Who here doesn't own an iPad? Everyone else owns an iPad. My name is Art, and I'm an iOS user. Yes. Nonetheless, we've had a lot of requests to support iPad. A lot of executives are walking around with an iPad. There's also quite a few now starting to talk about Windows 8. You have to support Windows 8 too. Well, good thing is it already does. Yay! Yes, it's a Mac, but it's actually the best Windows hardware I've ever had. Well, it is. Anyway, again, we've also discovered that the IT groups are not afraid of this kind of stuff or the SharePoint stuff. Some of them actually are reticent to install something that they're not comfortable with, they're not familiar with. This breaks that mold. The GIS group can continue doing all the bang-up job that you're already doing. I was thinking about other words, but I couldn't come up with it.